welcome to Lincoln Park Zoo. We're so glad you're here. I am right around the corner from the Robert and Myrie Pritzker Penguin Cove, which is home to a colony of African penguins. Today, we are going to explore how feeding by hand and on the land optimizes penguin care. This habitat was specifically designed with African penguins in mind and one of their home habitats of Boulders Beach, South Africa, where you can naturally see colonies of African penguins. Some of the special elements that are just for the African penguins in this space are water for swimming, the land space for socializing with the other penguins and being fed by hand, and lots of rock work, which includes access to behind-the-scenes space that's temperature controlled, including spaces for nesting. Oftentimes, some of the first words that come to our minds when we're thinking about penguins are cute, charismatic, waddling, even tuxedo from that very characteristic black and white feathers. Now, I have some words to add to your list as well, like fierce and predator. African penguins are incredible ocean predators. Except for very specific times of the year when they fast to care for eggs or grow new feathers, they spend every single day going into the ocean to hunt for fish like sardines and anchovies. Everything that you see on penguins' bodies are well adapted to life in the ocean. That streamlined body shape, kind of like a torpedo, is excellent from carrying through the water when they're swimming. While they can't fly like other birds, their wings do take them sort of in flight in the water in the ocean. They can swim incredibly fast. Most of the time, it's around 4.5 miles per hour, up to bursts of 15 miles per hour. I've done a little bit of math here, and that's about 3 times as fast as the fastest human swimmer. Like I said, they're pretty incredible at being hunters in the ocean. Even that tuxedo coloration is a great way for them to camouflage into the light and dark parts of the ocean in their habitat. This helps protect them from predators and also makes them remain camouflaged so that they can catch those fish while they're hunting. The reason we're talking so much about African penguins being incredible predators in the ocean is because what you would see them do in the wild is a little bit different from how they get fed here at Lincoln Park Zoo. Feeding on the land is a really important part of providing excellent care for African penguins here at the zoo. Lincoln Park Zoo is home to a healthy colony of zoo-born African penguins, and we contribute to the overall zoo and aquarium populations by participating in the African Penguin Species Survival Plan. Genetic information is recorded about individuals and their health across their entire lifetime and stored in a database. This database helps researchers housed right here at Lincoln Park Zoo make genetic matches for penguins to ensure genetic diversity and their best possible scenario for their conservation in the future. That's a really large-scale way that we care for penguins, and on a more local scale, that feeding on the land is also an incredible way that we care for penguins here at the zoo. Feeding penguins by hand allows zookeeper staff to track exactly what and how many fish each penguin is eating. Penguins have preferences too when it comes to their food. They're offered a variety of fish including capelin, anchovies, silver sides, and herring twice a day, every single day. They get to make the choices of which fish they would like to eat. Some penguins decide they would like to eat just 1 or 2 of the calorie-dense and larger fish like capelin. Other penguins may decide they want to eat a dozen or more silver sides at a time. These are much smaller and a little bit easier to digest, so they can eat more at a time. Those fish are fed out, again, twice a day, every single day, and continue to be offered until they are done eating. This makes sure that every single penguin, no matter where they are in the social order, is able to eat their fill. Once the feeding is completed, the zookeepers will make sure to record all of that information, what individuals have eaten and how much they've eaten. This is a great way to keep track of individuals and their health. Monitoring whether or not they're eating a little bit more or a little bit less may indicate if a penguin is not feeling well or they're about to molt their feathers. We talked a lot about how African penguins are incredible predators in the ocean, and when their feathers grow, at first they're not waterproof. The weeks leading up to this molting process, or growing those new feathers that aren't quite waterproofed yet, they're going to eat lots more fish, something called fat packing. That gives them the ability to go up to 30 days without eating while their feathers become waterproof. Feeding on the land is also an incredible opportunity for the zookeepers to get nice and close to the penguin to observe them. They can check out their body condition, their movement, vocalizations, or even how they're interacting with other members of the colony. This helps make sure that we provide that proactive care and report any changes in penguin behavior. You may be wondering, how in the world do we tell all of these penguins apart? First and foremost, the zookeepers are incredible. They spend a lot of close-up time near the penguins, being able to get to know them better and make sure that the penguins are comfortable around them. Also, a benefit to the zookeepers is that every single penguin is wearing a band on their wing. Each penguin is going to have a very specific color or combination of colors that's unique to them. This helps the zookeepers and you as guests be able to identify different penguins in their habitat. Now that we've talked about zoo-born penguins, we should talk a little bit more about wild penguins because they need our help as well. Penguin populations were once between 1 to 2 million as an estimate. By the year 2018, their populations had unfortunately declined to about 50,000 individuals. Early in the 1800s is when populations began to decline for a couple of different reasons. First being the collection of guano, or poop, for fertilizer. Penguins really need that guano in order to mix with the soil and create burrows where they nest. There was also the collection of penguin eggs for consumption. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. Now that we know more about penguins and how to conserve them properly, those practices were made illegal, but penguins are still impacted by things like unsustainable fishing practices, as well as ocean pollution. The great news is that you and me can help make sure that we make sustainable choices to protect African penguins for years to come. All of the fish that you see the penguins eating are sustainably sourced here at Lincoln Park Zoo. That's just one way that we minimize our impact to African species in the wild and any other animals that need those ocean resources. Thank you so much for joining us today to learn a bit more about how feeding by hand and on the land optimizes penguin care.
We just learned all about the amazing lives of the African penguins at Lincoln Park Zoo, including how eating on land is important to their care. Have you ever seen a penguin move on land? While they glide gracefully through the water, they waddle oh so wonderfully on land. And that's because they walk on the soles or bottoms of their feet, unlike other birds who walk on their toes. There are a lot of animals in the animal kingdom that move in ways that may seem a little strange to us, but make sense for them. Let's go ahead and do an activity to practice some of those silly movements. I have in front of me a die made out of a Kleenex box and some photos of my favorite masters of movement. You can recreate this at home if you'd like. We'll roll the die, act out some of those movements, and I'll share a few facts with you along the way. Ready for our first roll? Here we go. All right, we got penguin. Penguins are adorably clumsy on land, but they are built for swimming. They can go up to 550 miles in the water in search of fish to eat. That's the same distance from here, Chicago, to Niagara Falls. Let's go ahead and waddle like a penguin. Put your feet together, flippers out to the side, and waddle away. All right, that was a great first one. Let's try again. Nice, we got a kangaroo. Kangaroos are known for their strong back legs. Those back legs are so powerful that a kangaroo can leap 25 feet in one single jump. Let's go ahead and leap like a kangaroo. Bend those powerful kangaroo legs into a squat and leap. Nice job on that one. Ready to roll again? Awesome, we got sloth. Now's the perfect time to take a break. Sloths are known for their lack of movement. They'll actually sleep for 15 to 20 hours per day, and the rest of the time, they're basically motionless as they hang in the trees. They use their big, strong claws at the end of their hands to hold onto tree limbs without expending a lot of energy and feeling exhausted. So let's go ahead and be a sloth, hanging onto a tree. Get your claws ready. we have two-toed sloths at the zoo. So you could be a two-toed sloth or a three-toed sloth. Reach out, hold onto that tree, and take a break. Ready to roll again? I am. Woohoo, we got frogs. Frogs have really strong, springy back legs. So strong that they can actually jump 20 times their own body length in one jump. So a green tree frog, which is about 2 inches in length, can jump 40 inches in one leap. How cool is that? Let's go ahead and jump like a frog. You're gonna squat all the way down to the ground, get your froggy legs ready, and hop away. All right, let's see which animal's next. Awesome, we rolled a crab. Crabs are so cool. They actually have 10 paired legs. The front 2 are claws. And because of the way that their legs are positioned and the shape of their bodies, most crabs can only scuttle from side to side. There are some crabs, like the common spider crab, that can move forward and backwards. Today, we're gonna practice scuttling like a crab. Ready? You're gonna squat down and get your crab legs ready, claws up, and scuttle away. All right, ready for the next one? Let's roll. Awesome, we rolled a stingray. Stingrays are so cool. Their bodies are made of cartilage. Take a minute and press your nose or bend the top of your ear. Both of those body parts are made of cartilage, just like a stingray. Stingrays glide so gracefully through the water because of that cartilage. And their mouths are on their undersides, so they actually glide through the water just like a vacuum, sucking up their food as they go. Let's go ahead and move like a stingray today. Stick your arms out to the side and just relax. Move those arms up and down in an undulating pattern and feel how nice it feels to be a stingray. Now that we've gotten through all the animals on our movement cube, remember, you can always modify, change, or customize movements just for you. We invite you to make your own cube at home. What animals would you put on there? What movements would you choose? Let us know in the comments. As always, we're so excited to have you here at Stay Tuned to the Zoo. Subscribe to our channel for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.